You ready? Let's go for a walk.
On today's show, inspiration in a deer blind. Young hunters overcome obstacles to pursue their passions. Laura Schara shares a special recipe for your fall wild game.
So good.
And we dig into the world of women who love to hunt.
Minnesota Bound, presented by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems.
Hi everybody, Bill, Millie, and I welcome you to Minnesota Bound.
Up first today, we celebrate the deer hunting season.
A very special deer hunt that almost didn't happen.
Yep, Travis Frank is headed to camp.
Inspiration can be found in the strangest places.
It burns to me. It just sticks.
In a snow-covered cornfield, we find ours.
You ready? Let's go for a walk. Give me your hand. Ready? Go.
Pierce is a guy that just loves being part of bigger things.
Pierce Pennaz loves life, and he loves to deer hunt with his dad, Steve.
He loves spending time with family, he loves spending time together with me, and he loves being outdoors.
We're gonna set up the blind over here, buddy.
Pierce has Down syndrome.
Come on, bud.
Jump in. This is our spot.
To legally hunt, his dad must remain at his side.
Yeah, not too easy for me.
Gun's loaded, buddy. Safety's on. Well, my goal is to keep him comfortable, keep him happy. If a deer comes in, I can help him get ready for a successful shot. Look through the gun to make sure everything works for you.
A successful shot that Pierce has proven he can make.
Did you shoot a deer?
Yeah.
Are you excited? Did you get a buck?
Yep. You got a deer, buddy. All by yourself.
Pierce harvested 2 bucks on his first 2 hunts.
I got giant deer, 2 giants.
But his hunting career almost ended after firing those 2 shots.
That's the bird.
In the state of Minnesota, you can hunt 2 years as someone over 16 years of age with an apprentice license. So you got 2 years. Well, his 2 years are up. I went to buy him a deer tag. I was told no, he couldn't get one.
Pierce needed to pass firearm safety training in order to hunt again.
He wouldn't be able to pass the test. It was just beyond his capabilities.
State Representative Jim Nash drafted a bill to create a provisional hunting license for hunters like Pierce.
Pierce, what is that?
It became a Minnesota law in 2019.
Cool. I could take the test with him so he could pass the test, and then once he did, he got a provisional license.
Now, Pierce can hunt with a mentor always at his side.
It's really about a relationship and a chance to spend time, quality time with my son.
Oh, there's a deer. That's a big buck. I found it. I found it. I found it.
Good eyesight, bud. And you can just see in his eyes and his mannerisms, he is as excited about deer hunting as any other deer hunter out there.
And he's not alone. In a blind across the field, Joey Thomas waits with Justin Morrissey for his own shot at a buck.
This is good, not nice.
Like Pierce, Joey has Down syndrome. And like Pierce, Joey has already taken 2 perfect shots.
This is just so good, isn't it?
It is good to me, though.
Deer's worst nightmare.
Justin knows that Joey can't experience the joys of hunting without him.
He can do anything he wants. It's just a matter of giving him a chance and being patient. The tradition of hunting is passing it on.
Album deer, bucks, and does. This is fine to me.
Get ready, bud. Are you ready? There they are. You see them? See them? Don't come in. Oh, let's pick the buck. Here comes the buck, Joey. See him, buddy? Okay. Meh. Meh.
fever strikes Joey for the very first time.
Good try, buddy. Good try. That happens. I've missed deer too.
I missed 2 times today. Think of a big bucks.
Joey's just grateful for the opportunity to take the shot.
I'll be excited. I'll be fun. Hunting is just fine to me.
Thanks to Steve and Pierce, he'll have plenty more.
People with Down syndrome and a lot of disabilities are a lot more capable of doing things than we give them credit for. Hey, 70% of hunters last year didn't get a deer, but Pierce did.
And Joey did too.
And I think these guys are proof that there really are no limits.
Where there's a will, deer hunters always find a way.
Coming up, Laura Schara shares a favorite venison recipe for your next hunt.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Kinetical Water Treatment Systems, VMC Hooks, Midwest Exteriors MN, and by Ice Castle Fish House and RV.
Hi everybody, it's time for Wild in the Kitchen. I'm here with Chef Jim Kimberg with Delwood Country Club. And Chef Jim, I'm excited today because we are cooking up some axis deer, which I harvested in Hawaii. And I see some really delicious fall type ingredients. What are we making today?
So obviously the highlight, the star of the show is the axis deer. We're going to be serving it with a pumpkin parmesan risotto. So yes, very fall inspired. All right, so this is our axis deer. We're just going to season it both sides with a little bit of salt and pepper.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. And we're going to sear it in the pan.
It looks like it's searing up pretty good. How many minutes approximately on each side?
At least 3 minutes, if not 4. Let's see how we, oh yeah, there, look at that. That's beautiful. So we're going to go ahead and flip that. Get it right back in that hot oil. I hinted around earlier, we're going to bring another layer of flavor into this axis deer. So this is what I was referring to. We've got some compound herb butter. Take about a generous tablespoon. Fresh herbs, we have some rosemary, we got some fresh thyme. Let's just add those right into the pan.
That smells so good. Woo!
Let's get this out of the pan. I'm going to give it one last little baste, and then we're going to let it rest.
How long should it rest?
At least 5 minutes. I wouldn't even hesitate to go 10 minutes on this. All right, so we're moving on to the risotto portion while our meat is resting. Let's go ahead and start off with that pumpkin. Let's get that in the pan.
Fresh cut pumpkin.
Moving on, I have some hard-cooked risotto. And then last but not least, I've got a little pumpkin puree there. So once again, that's just that fresh pumpkin simmered down, but I actually pureed that. And that's going to give us even more creaminess to that risotto rice.
Who doesn't love risotto?
I think we're ready to finish it off, so if you can add a little of that white wine.
Of course, this is the best part right
There
here.
you go. Perfect. And then I'm going to grate some fresh Parmesan right over the top.
Looks good.
And we'll garnish with just a little bit of microgreen.
Voila. So good. Wildly delicious. Easy to do with axis deer or with any venison that you have in your freezer. Thanks, Chef Jim. Knocked it out of the park.
Thanks, you as well.
Thanks.
This is the meat locker.
Still ahead, a deer camp tradition started with Big Rig DNA. But first, an answer to the question, why do women love to hunt?
Closed captioning provided by Star Bank.
Up next, we meet up with a local author who desired to discover the reasons why so many women love to hunt. Looking back in time, there is no question hunting was a masculine way of life. But today, a feminine movement is changing history in a big way.
I absolutely love hunting because I'm outdoors. I'm disconnected from everything that's going on in the fast-paced world that we live in now.
Seeing the rise of the female hunter, local author KJ Hauptman decided to write a book to share the reason behind why women hunt.
Well, this is a diverse group of women from metro to rural to suburban to 20 years old to grandmas. I wanted to interview women who had been hunting only for a short time, as well as women who'd been hunting their entire lives. I would say a common thread for women was that they found a certain amount of empowerment.
For sure, hunting empowers women to also be a provider for their families. There we go! Dinner is served.
I'm a 4.5-year breast cancer survivor. Very proud of that. It's a wicked disease. One thing with my hunting and fishing and being outdoors, I like to be a good role model to other women to say you can still do the things you're passionate about and the things that you want to do, even though there may be obstacles in the way. There may be a lot of obstacles. So that was part of my motivation and drive, even when I was sick and in tons of treatment and lost my hair, and I still wanted to hunt and I still wanted to be out there and be that role model for my girls and for other women and other people, saying don't give up.
Harvesting my food is one of the top motivations besides my personal gratification for hunting. I am really big on harvesting my own food because it's ethically raised, it's free range, it's organic, the animal had a great life.
KJ wrote the book with hopes of encouraging women and men of any age to try something new.
Here I was about to be a grandmother and decided to take it up. I realized that if I can do this, anyone can do this. I don't want anybody to feel like just because they haven't tried hunting that it's too late for them. And from interviewing some of these women, a number of them didn't know they were going to love hunting until they tried it.
Some of the joy of turning into an experienced hunter is passing on the tradition and skill to others.
Well, for women that are getting into hunting, there are a lot of opportunities. I'm involved with Women's Intro to Wing Shooting or Women's Intro to Hunting courses.
Beyond harvesting wild game, hunting just has a way of reconnecting us with our roots.
A way of recharging. It kind of helps just recharge and rejuvenate my soul. Makes me feel grounded to something greater.
And teaches us valuable life lessons.
To overcome fears. For some women, there really isn't any fear and they'll do anything. And I admire them so much because I have to overcome a lot to do this.
The moral of the story about why women hunt is this. Nature has a way of giving many gifts to the hunter, female or not.
And so if anything, hunting has given me an immense amount of adventure in my life and quality. The wildlife that we're after has, again, taken me some incredible places, and the hunt is so much more than the shot in that case. And so I guess I would say quality of life overall is what hunting has given me.
Straight ahead, we settle into a deer camp aptly nicknamed the Meat Locker.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Radco Truck Accessories, White Bear Lake Superstore, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Up next, we're headed off to deer camp where a group of hunters needed a place to stay, so they big-rigged their solution. Fall tends to be the season of end, the last of the summer, the time when colors die. But not to Steve Zwaber.
Yeah, I love it. I look forward to this every year.
His autumn drive down an old dirt road signals the start, the beginning of tradition, a tale that starts with Steve's dad.
Back in the mid-'80s, my mom and dad had a cabin up in this area, and they were driving by one day, and my dad saw that view, and he said that reminded him of Lake Tahoe, and he said, one day I'm going to own that land.
Steve dreamed that someday, somehow, the old farm could become something new. And you know what? It happened with the help of a big rig.
So welcome to the meat locker. That this is an old reefer trailer. It used to haul frozen meat in this area. We said, let's make it feel like a real deer camp.
So Steve and his buddies got to work.
We looked for recycled materials, repurposed materials, stuff people had laying around, and then came up as a group, and we got most of the build done in a weekend.
And turned a trailer into a townhouse of deer camp proportions.
Well, for our group, this is pretty typical. This is what you would normally think. We do unique things.
We'll turn it into a bunkhouse, and it'll be a deer camp. It'll be perfect, and sure enough, a little work. It certainly is.
Inside, easy to see why.
This is the meat locker. Got a bar on this end. Got our card table with fireplace, and all the bunks down on this end.
Well, if you were a part of the team that built it, you got to pick your bunk.
I think we only had one year where somebody slept on the floor on a cot.
That's the original boys right there, Steve and myself, Johnny, Chad, and my brother Zach.
Oh yeah, that picture tells the other part of the meat locker tale.
Johnny, you want to get some wood with me?
It's pretty simple. It's just hanging out with this group of guys that I've been friends with for a lot of years.
There's guys in this group that I've known since kindergarten, first grade, junior high, high school.
Enjoy yourselves out here. Have a little bit too much fun probably, but that's all right, huh?
It's just spending some time with friends, being out in the woods, out away from the city.
At least until dinner time, when the Zwaber hunters head to town for a thick slab of beef.
We just started this last year.
They celebrate alongside hunters from other area deer camps. A new tradition, just what Steve hoped for.
Camaraderie. We have a great time together. You know, I'm lucky to have a great group of friends.
You know you're going to spend 3-4 days laughing at somebody or something hard, right?
A few groggy hours later,
I think it's time to go for a walk, huh?
hunters take to their stands. Alone, they watch the woods wake up.
Just being up here, and we've all had the opportunity to shoot a deer. It's just a bonus if you do get to get one.
Deer hunting is a great thing, but hanging out with the guys and catching up with families and what everybody's been doing, you hear the laughter in the background, that's the adrenaline for me, and that's the best part of the weekend.
Warm hearts born out of an old, cold storage truck trailer.
Cheddar makes everything better.
A story Steve just hopes will keep trucking along.
What a fun project.
Deer camp ingenuity at its best, right, Millie?
Well, that about does it for us. We'll see you back here next week.
In the meantime, don't forget to introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. To get more Minnesota Bound, including full episodes, go to mnbound.com. And to follow our latest adventures, like us on Facebook.